Oh, hey, Miss Betty. Oh, goodness. Looks like you're awake. You had me worried there for a minute. Yeah, we just, you called us to come pick you up off the floor, and we got in your house, and looked like you were unconscious. So, I know you don't usually go to the hospital, but we went ahead and put you on the stretcher here. So we want to get in the ambulance and check you out. If you don't want to go to the hospital, you don't have to. Is that okay? All right. Just a second. All right, step up in here, check your vitals and stuff. Turn on some lights. Oh, all right, Miss Betty, we're gonna check your vitals. Miss Betty? Scotland 199. We have a signal 9. Repeat, signal 9. Okay, training break. You might have had a scenario like this yourself. Something's called out as a 17 alpha, routine lift assist, one of our most popular items. And most of the time it's just a matter of getting grandma back up off the floor and onto the bed. Oh, thank you so much. And you want to go to the hospital? No, please sign here. All right, so this time it didn't turn out that way. This is inspired by an actual call not so very long ago. So what we want to do is show you how to run a field code. Make sure we're still running. Yep. You're hearing aboard an actual ambulance. I'm off the clock, taxpayers. Don't worry. I already finished 3 24-hour shifts out of the last 5 days. I think it's time to do something fun like an instructional video. So we'll show you how to run a field code. And what are my qualifications? All right, I'm a North Carolina certified paramedic. Have been since 23. Also later in 23 I started working here in Scotland County and have run, oh gosh, I guess I've participated in about 20 codes. Fortunately we don't get as many as some folks, but we do get them. Also I hold an BS in biology summa cum laude from Fayetteville State University and an MS in biomedical research from Wake Forest. So I do understand some theoretical bases, although it doesn't help me that much day to day, but it is kind of neat to be able to look up scientific articles and understand them that do actually help us. So when you get a patient and you find that they have no pulse and they're not breathing, then you're going to have to step in. In this case, the arrest was witnessed. It happened right in front of me, so we can do everything that is possible. Sometimes you can't do a lot when the person has been down for a while, and in fact if you find them cold and stiff or discolored, then really no resuscitation is possible. But this time Miss Judy, sorry, we're going to save her. And how to do that is first, just like we were about to do, we're going to go get the, and I don't have a camera person, so that's going to run it this way. We're going to get the monitor out, which on this truck is right here. Nobody's run this for a few days, so all the automatic self-tests have been running 3 in the morning. Usually we would put it, where are we going to put it? Somewhere everybody can see is preferable. In this particular truck we don't have, we're going to put it here. And of course you got to turn it on. Now of course also you have we don't work alone. You have your partner already doing chest compressions, and with that call to dispatch, then they'll automatically page out backup unit, EMS unit with the supervisor aboard, and also fire to help us with CPR. So we have CPR going, and again we're obviously not going to follow a strict timeline. We're going to take a little time to explain. So CPR, I guess while we're thinking of it, is good CPR is the single most helpful thing you can possibly do in a code. And you need 2 hands, of course, but you press in the center of the chest. They used to tell us just 2 fingers above the xiphoid process, but you know, on the sternum should do fine. And the rhythm is 100 to 120. There's a lot of scientific support for this. You can hum that old song, "Another One Bites the Dust," but don't let the patient hear you say that, or staying alive, even better. I personally use the Imperial March from Star Wars, also called the Darth Vader song. Dun, dun, dig it again, dig it again, dig it again, dun, dun, dig it again, dig it again, dig it again. I mean, it works for me. There may be other newer songs. Plus, you'll have somebody get out. I'm not going to use any consumables here, but you would have somebody get out a BVM and start ventilating the patient that way. But if you only have one person here, then chest compressions are by far the most important. All right, so once we have our monitor fired up, this is how it is on the, it says Physio Control, but it's the Physio Control's been bought by Stryker. This is their LifePak Model 15. It's the only unit I've really ever used. So now that it's turned on, you want to get out the pads. Instead of, I mean, every paramedic's favorite thing in the whole entire world is to do a 12 lead. But if somebody is in cardiac arrest, a 12 lead is just going to tell you they're in cardiac arrest. So you'll have infant peds. Of course, you should already have checked the due date in your truck checkoff, didn't you? Or you checked that you've had both adult and pediatric pads, because we've had a case where somebody had a code first call in the morning and they only had pediatric pads because nobody had replaced the ones they used the day before. And to get them out, you just rip them open any way you have to. There is an authorized way. I think there's a little slot down there. It also says peel here. And once you have them on, you will stick them, okay, one over here and one over there for defibrillation and for monitoring. You'll also plug it in. And this is something we didn't really practice a lot in medic school, just verbalized. This is what connects the pads to the monitor. So you'll need to plug them in like so. Yep, where's it? Oh yeah, you got to take that part off. That's why I need to practice this, so that it's just second nature. And now they're all connected. One thing I need to do is, that was really never told to me, if you want to do automatic defibrillation, like if you're not a paramedic or not running at paramedic level, you'll hit the CPR button up here and it will set it, it will run it as an AED and tell you shock advised or shock not advised, and it'll also play a metronome, just click 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 for proper CPR pad, CPR chest compression pace. Yeah, that's it. All right, what you want to hit though is lead and then hit paddles, and that way you make this into a quick 4-lead EKG. And you can tell and see what rhythm you got. Whoops, forgot to bring my EKG textbook. But if we should know at least these things. The only two shockable rhythms are pulseless ventricular tachycardia, which is, it would be regular and wide complex all across here, and it'll be going really fast, usually over 150. And if you still feel a pulse, then it's not appropriate to shock. You can try amiodarone or something else to correct that rhythm. But if it shows that rhythm and you cannot feel a pulse, then you can defibrillate. If it's just a bunch of squiggles, that's called ventricular fibrillation. That is, your ventricles are just not, they're still, the muscle cells are still beating sort of, but they're going in all different directions, and it's just like a bag of worms. It's not pumping anything, it's not creating any blood pressure, it's not being a heart. So, and again, I'm not going to hit charge, but if you were to do so, all right, look real closely here. It says under the lightning bolt, it says 200J. That's 200 joules of electrical energy. That should be your starting level for defibrillation. Second shot would be 300 and third would be 360. But if you have a shockable rhythm, by all means get your pads right on and charge up, interrupt CPR, and defibrillate. Then pause CPR to see if it worked, see if the rhythm is corrected. If not, just keep doing CPR, and then you'll want to start getting your drugs ready. So if it's a shockable rhythm, your first priority should be epinephrine, and I bet you we have some over here. That is 1 to 10,000 epi, not the one you would use for anaphylaxis. And usually it's in the secondary bag, right up front. Yeah, here you are. Lots of epinephrine, 1 to 10,000. This one is still good. Oh, expires next month. 1 to 10. Very, very important. The other one would just kind of blow up your heart. Now, how are you going to get it in? You need, this is an IV drug, obviously. Oh yeah, speaking of Narcan, you may want to get, as soon as somebody gets there, you may want to administer Narcan, because one thing that causes a lot of cardiac arrest is opioid overdose. Also a drug you can use if it's got a shockable rhythm is amiodarone. And I'm sure we have some. Oh, we did have some. Oh, it's in the other box. That's adenosine. Amiodarone. Ah. Where'd you go, amiodarone? Yeah, amiodarone. So what you need to do is get access first, but especially if somebody's been down a while, their veins are likely going to be flat. You're going to have a really rough time getting IV access, if at all. So you bust out your drill kit. And again, this is not a drilling class, but this is basically what you need. Your drill, probably to drill the tibial, below the tibial tuberosity, you would want the 25 millimeter, the blue needle. And you don't have to sink it to the hub, you just gotta drill it until you get a pop, I mean, to send the marrow. You can flush it and push whatever drug you need to. Now, some say that drugs are useless in cardiac arrest treatment. I think they're not terribly useful, but the American Heart Association has done at least one review that says if you push epi, when you have a shockable rhythm, that's the big proviso. When you have a shockable rhythm, make sure you get in your epi early, like within 4 minutes, and there is a better chance, probably not that much better, but a better chance, it's well worth it. So make sure you, if you can't get an immediate line, just drill and get you in some epi. And of course, keep watching your monitor for shock, or to see when it's time to shock. Here's something that could be useful, because in a field code, and in a hospital, you have a lot of people helping you. Out on the field, you might not. So we know it's really difficult to get to run a code the way you're supposed to by the book. One thing that might help is an app that I've never actually remembered to use in real life. It's called Super CPR. I think I still have it. No, I don't see it. You try and get Super CPR. It's free, and it has a timer, and it has a prompt to push meds, and it should be help. There's also a paid version that might be even better. What else did we want to look at here? Amiodarone. When you push amiodarone, you can also use procainamide, but we don't carry that. You can also use, which we do have, what do you know, lidocaine. Amiodarone would be 300 milligrams initial dose, and then 150 for one subsequent dose. You would alternate that with your 1 to 10,000 epi. So 1 to 10,000 epi, you just push the whole syringe, and you would do that every 3 to 5 minutes. And if you have a shockable rhythm, alternate with amiodarone. But if you don't have a shockable rhythm, that is, it's a flat line, or asystole as we call it when we're not in Hollywood. Just imagine that line, that dashed line is just straight. That's asystole. All you can do with that is CPR and shock. A lot of people think that a shock is like a jump start for a car battery. It's not. It only works when you have heart cells that are actually doing something to start with. They just all need a giant slap in the face to get back together. That's what the electricity does. But it will not bring you out of asystole. Some will insist on checking and say, oh, it's really fine VT, or it's really fine VFib. Try it, I guess, but it's probably not going to work. So once you get rust, yeah, that must be the next video we're going to do. But here, when do you want to call it? Because quite often you will have to call it. Usually after 20, 30, 40 minutes, especially if it's a witnessed arrest, we'll try for much longer. But if it's not a witnessed arrest, we'll just go through about 3 rounds of epi, and if that's all we can think of, and also push Narcan. Also, oh, check your blood sugar, because sometimes what looks like a cardiac arrest is actually hypoglycemia. And I don't know why they don't put this on the, nope. Yeah, here's our official ACLS. Down at what's called the H's and T's, that is hypovolemia, hypoxia, hydrogen ion, that is acidosis, and all that. For some reason they don't have hypoglycemia. I've been to at least one code where it looked like a heart attack, but no, it was a case of low blood sugar. It was about 15. So some D50 fixed that. Also tension pneumothorax, toxins, toxins, yeah, of course, could be a drug overdose. So sometimes you're able to use this in the field, and here's your, this is the latest algorithm. I just changed it to a nice circle here. So that should be pretty easy to follow instead of the long trail of decision boxes that they've used in the past. So, all right, I think we've been at this long enough. And I really appreciate your time today. I hope you've learned a little something. If you got any corrections, by all means, post it in the comments. I'm doing this for EMS instructor class, but I'm also going to post it on my YouTube channel. That is Superbike Science. So by all means, if you got any suggestions, improvements, and especially any compliments, post those and I'll be glad to hear from you. So thanks for listening, and go save a life.